Hello everyone, I'm Samuel Chan. Today is March 2nd and I'm back in London, England. Today we're at Christ Hospital School. Actually, I've been here many times before. This is a very special school because it's a fully boarding school. There are 900 students and all of them board at the school. The term full boarding comes up a lot, but a true full boarding school is one where students even have classes on Saturdays. There are actually very few schools like this left. In fact, there are only 9 such schools. Basically, you can't really grasp how big the campus is. Even on camera, you can't see it all. This place even has its own train station. The school only gives about 5% of places to parents. Actually, there's still another 15% of places that the school allocates through the foundation, which is really meaningful. There's another thing that Hong Kong parents will definitely recognize, and that's the school uniform. The uniform here is really unique and beautiful, and it's even free because the school wants students from different backgrounds to have equal treatment and upbringing.
So we are not far from the south coast of England. We're very near to Gatwick Airport, about 20 minutes away, and in fact we're directly on the train line from Gatwick Airport. The school was founded in 1552 in London. Then it moved in the early 1900s, 1902, to the site we now have in Sussex. Exactly half of the pupils are female, half are male, and we've always been a school that admitted both male and female pupils.
From the very start we have 18 boarding houses. And we are fully boarding, so that means that a large majority of the people, the population, remain and are entertained and educated, for 3 weeks at a time before our expat weekend. Now, starting to become co-educational, so that's the first time that you're mixing both boys and girls. However, they're in kind of separate pods in terms of that. It's getting more similar to what university life would be like, and socialising with people more within their year group as opposed to the kind of leadership opportunities all the way down.
Christ Hospital School's academic performance is remarkable. According to the latest 2024 to 2025 A-level results, 36% of grades were A-star or A, and as high as 64% were A-star to B. In 2025, 90% of students progressed to top universities locally or overseas, with 9 students already having received offers from Oxford or Cambridge. The school offers 22 A-level subjects, including unique areas such as sports, self-study and drama, allowing students to choose courses that suit their interest and potential. Did you know, if you want to apply to Oxford or Cambridge, you can only apply to one of them, except for one special route, if you are an organist. If you are an organist, then for Oxford and Cambridge, you can apply to both at the same time. So for British students, there's a bit of a shortcut, a bit of a secret pathway to get into Oxford or Cambridge, which is to learn an instrument that these universities really want, like the organ. Because these schools have hundreds of years of history, and there are many prestigious schools like this all over the UK, actually, they didn't get to choose their locations. They were established by foundations and are the result of historical legacy. So they always have big, beautiful castles, but the devil is in the details. For example, just the heating in these schools. I know of one school that told me they spend $4 million a year on gas and electricity because it's a stone building. You really have to look at the details, like where the school's finances are allocated. So this school must be self-sustainable and extremely so. They do a great job because if you look at the details, they are constantly renovating, constantly maintaining, and continuously improving their landscape. For example, at their main entrance, they are now building a huge athletic track. Just now, the teacher found a few students for me to interview, and as we chatted, I realized that many of them were actually students we had sent here before. You've been here for a few years since we sent you over. You just mentioned you had some complaints, right?
Actually, to be honest, I don't regret coming here at all because personally I really love music. So I feel like this place has given me a lot of different opportunities, but... well, the food here though.
Aside from the food?
Yeah, so aside from the food, I think another thing that was different from my expectations was how strict it was. I didn't imagine it would be so strict, but I feel like this isn't just the case at our school. It's probably the same at all boarding schools, like, for example, having to hand in your phone at night. And also, our school is most famous for having to march when we go to meals.
Yeah, if your house is the best, you get to be the first to march, so you get to eat first. And actually, the locals here are really nice. If they see you crying, they'll really sit next to you the whole night, keep you company and hug you.
What's really special is that because it's full boarding, everyone is actually together 24/7, even on weekends. From what I've heard at some other boarding schools, a lot of people do weekly boarding, so on weekends the school is mostly just international students. But here, there's a really strong sense of bonding, especially within the house.
This is already my third time coming to this school, and I'm just as impressed as before. What's different today is that I got to meet many students who have come here in recent years, and their feedback has been very positive. As for the negative feedback, like the food not being good, honestly, I just take it in stride. Most of the time, after I try the food myself, I actually find it quite good and appealing. The food isn't really that bad. Emma will be so happy here in the future. Seeing the students we interviewed today, not to mention those who are applying to top universities like UCL, Oxford, or Cambridge, of course, they might not necessarily get in, right? But secondly, their manners, their confidence, and their attitude towards others and their belongings, all of that already makes me feel so proud. If I were their dad or mom, I'd be really proud too. We're lucky to have sent her to the UK, and I don't think her parents would have any complaints about it. Let me talk about what's special this time. What kind of students is this school suitable for? Since about 75% of the students here are on some sort of scholarship, you can see that the diversity here is vastly different from that of typical so-called aristocratic schools in the UK. When I was chatting with that student, they told me that this kind of expectation has its pros and cons. It's really a microcosm of society, especially British society. Not everyone is like those extremely aristocratic types you see in Kingsman or at places like Eton or Harrow. But at the same time, as a professional education consultant, you need to set the right expectations for parents, because what about the backgrounds of the students here? Some of them might actually come from relatively poor families in London, which is why they're able to get these scholarships. If you're from a very privileged family, raised like a prince or princess, you might find it really hard to get along with others. When you come here in year 7, do you think you might get picked on, right? Maybe they won't actually hit you, but if you can't fit in and people exclude you, that can make you really unhappy. UK private schools often seem elite. Since only 6% of families can afford them, they feel out of reach. But Christ Hospital School is different. Over 70% of students receive financial aid. If your child feels out of place in stuffy, class-divided boarding schools, Christ Hospital is the top choice.